morning, everybody. We are going to start math again, 9.3. So you're going to need your journal, your calculator, pencil, geometry template. And I'm going to introduce you to my two audience members because I miss you guys so much. I want you here, but I think you might recognize a couple of these people. So we have, right here, we have Garfield. I have had him since I was in 6th grade, so about 12 years old. And to the right of Garfield, we have Thor, the pillow pet, the Viking pillow pet. I just got him from my sister for my birthday this past Christmas, so. Right. And we are off to the races. Here's 9.3. Please have your calculator ready because we're going to use that quite a bit today. We're going to talk about denominators, numerators, fractions, decimals, all that fun stuff that we've been reviewing for the last couple of weeks. Use your calculator to divide the numerators of the following fractions by the denominators. Now, some of you may have noticed, you probably know this fraction. You might know this fraction. You probably know this fraction because you've gotten a 4 out of 5 on an AR test. You've maybe gotten a 6 out of 10 on an AR test, and they give you percents when you do that. What you can do is, if somebody just gives you a numerator over denominator, all you have to do in order to figure out what percent you have is take the numerator. Make sure you hit the clear button on the calculator a few times though, just to make sure everything is out of there. Put in 1 divided by 2, and then hit the equal button. You should get something like this, 0.5. Some of you might get 0.50. Remember, that's okay because we can add numbers. We can add zeros to the right of this number and it will not change the value. That really means that you got 50%. Okay, do 3/4. Clear button on your calculator a couple times. Do 3 divided by 4. 3 divided by 4, you probably should have gotten 0 and 75/100, which is equal to 75%. Next one. Do 4 divided by 5. 4 divided by 5, 4 out of 5 in an AR test, we know that is 80%. If you want to check that, use your calculator. 4 divided by 5. You should get 0.80 or 0 and 80/100, which is also known as 80%. Last one, 6 out of 10 on an AR test. Clear button several times. Do 6 divided by 10, hit the equal button. You should get 0.60, which is the same thing as 60%. So if you get a math score or a reading score from Mrs. Zacher or myself, you can always check your percentage by doing this on a calculator. Numerator divided by denominator, hit the equal button. We're going to practice a few of those today. One way to rename a fraction as a decimal is to divide its numerator by its denominator. In this lesson, you will practice using a calculator to rename a fraction as a decimal. You are going to need this page. This should be in the packet of things that we sent out this past Friday. Looks like this is a study link. Yeah, it's kind of weird. We're going to start it with that study link right now, but you are going to make sure you put your name on this as well. This is going to be what your parents are going to take a picture of and send to me, or if you know how to do that, you may do that too. But make sure your name's on everything when you send a picture to me, because I'm getting a flood of papers and it's hard for me to keep those organized. So get this paper ready. I'm going to give you a little time to do this. All you're going to do is, let's read the directions. Use your calculator to rename each fraction below as a decimal. Stop. Wait a minute. Everybody put your name on it. Here's what they did. The first one is done for you. They took their calculator, hit the clear button a bunch of times. 1 divided by 2 equal sign. This is what came up in the calculator screen. So yeah, you get to use your calculator for this whole sheet except for the bottom part. I would like you to do that on your whiteboard at home. That would be those practice problems at the bottom because those are division. We haven't had those for a while. Second one is also done for you. 1 divided by 3. In the calculator screen, it shows like this, 0 and lots of 3's. That's a repeating decimal. Okay, go ahead and do the next one. 1 divided by 4. You should get 0 point and 25 hundredths. Awesome job. I would like you to take a few minutes right now. Go ahead and finish that whole page and come back to the second part of the video. Alrighty, we are back. Math boxes. I'm on page 255 in your math journal. If you would turn to that page. Number 1, you're going to write A or P to tell whether you would need to finish the area or the perimeter in each, to find the area or the perimeter in each situation. Would you use area to buy a garden fence? Area or perimeter? Would you use area or perimeter to find the square footage of your bedroom? Would you use area or perimeter to buy wallpaper for your kitchen? All right. Number 2, the rule. Let's look at our fractions first, see if we can figure out what maybe the rule is. We have a problem here. We have lots of different denominators, or a couple different denominators, so that means we're probably going to have 2 rules. First rule is 7/9 coming out as 4/9. So that means that fraction went in as a big one and it came out smaller when it came out of the out box. So we have 7 take away 4, which is 3/9. Your first rule is going to be take away 3/9. If you have the in box number, you want to subtract, but if you have the out box number, you want to do the opposite of subtraction, which is adding. Now we have 9/18. So I'm going to take 9/18 and I'm going to subtract 3/9. But wait a second here. These denominators are not the same, so I need to get this to say 18. In order to do that, I'm going to do that times 2. Well, he gets times 2, the 9 gets times 2, so that means the 3 gets to have times 2. So my new fraction, they are equivalent, is going to be 6/18. I can cross that baby out. So 9 take away 6, the 18 stay the same, those denominators stay the same, so you have 3/18. And the last one is done for you. Awesome job. Number 3 is a 2x2 multiplication problem. Those of you that are Lattice members, you can use, that is going to be a window. Number 4, you may cross out. We do not have enough SRBs for everybody. Number 5. Number 5, you need a geometry template in order to do this. First of all, you're going to tell me if this angle right here, RLA, is acute or obtuse. So write one of those words in there. And then you're going to actually measure that angle. Look at, we have the blue little arrow right here. It tells you which part we're measuring. And that's going to be right here. So get those protractors out on your geometry template. Last one, number 6. I was correcting some papers from last week and I noticed that some of you might not know exactly what symmetry means. Symmetry is if you cut a shape in half, that means both sides are going to be equal. You're going to get the alike, they're going to look alike. So symmetry of this spider, if I took this line right here and I went right here cutting in half, this is not the same as this. Think of it as a mirror image almost. This is the head of the bug, or this could be the head of the bug, I'm not really sure. This might be the tail, I don't know. So we know that that's probably not it. But if I take this line right down here, it's going to move for me. Come on, come on. Not going to move for me today. I can cut that spider in half right here. That means I have what looks exactly the same on the top, looks exactly the same on the bottom. That's called symmetry. Some shapes can have more lines of symmetry, and we will talk about that eventually as we get into this chapter a little bit more. That is pretty much your math lesson today. Again, make sure that you write your name on all papers. And from now on, I'm going to trust that you're doing the actual sheets with me, or the actual papers in the math journal, those things that we do together. So for today, I would like you to take a picture of page 255 in your math journal. And also, if you would take a picture of this page, your study link, page 284, and have somebody send that to me. You can send it to me via Remind, or an email. It does not matter to me. Or the Hangouts works as well too, if you know how to do that. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Garfield says, have a nice day.